Let's hear from Indiana's Southwest Allen County Schools about their migration to Exchange Online.
I'm Don Chase. I'm the Director of Technology for Southwest Allen County Schools.
Welcome, Don, and thank you very much. What was the district's major motivator to move to Exchange Online?
Well, for me, it was reliability and redundancy, the ability to have a reliable email system that did not and was not affected by the event that our internet pipe were to go down. And so we'll let Microsoft have many of their pipes and internet connections that the likelihood of them going down with email versus us going down with email is far less. And so that reliability factor was huge for me. I think there were some other factors involved. For example, the ability to do backups, to integrate with mobile technologies that you can't do if you have your own Exchange server, at least not as easily. And so those were some of the other factors that affected our decision.
Any concerns with moving to Exchange Online?
I think biggest concern I had is the control factor. It's in-house. We control the servers, we control the connection. And so it was a control factor for me. And part of that really was, here I am now sending an email to these technicians or other people in our district and using a cloud services. Okay, it's going all the way out to the cloud and coming all the way back in, as opposed to, right within our local network. That was a huge factor for me to get over that hump, was that control factor. I think the benefits of the reliability and less downtime, potential less downtime anyway, was huge. And like I mentioned before, just some of the other features and functions of going with the cloud version of Exchange helped alleviate those concerns that I had moving to the cloud.
How did enabling tech help you along the way?
Well, I think the first thing that came quite apparent to me was their organization, the number of people involved, bringing in a project planner, bringing in other people to plan this project, not only the engineer that was going to do the work, but also the planning person, the project manager person. There was multiple people involved to outline this huge project of moving email from our local server to the cloud, and what it's going to take to make all that happen seamlessly was huge for us. And so enabling just provided a wealth of, and really a plethora of people and information and knowledge to make this happen as in the background as much as possible.
Could you please talk a little bit about the process, Don?
One of the major factors involved is really in the plan that was developed in conjunction with us and enabling of here's what we're going to do initially, the first steps, here's what we're going to do second, third, and so forth. And part of that was we're gonna do the heavy hitters. I'm probably the biggest heavy hitter with email in our school district. So we're going to do the tech staff, the district tech staff first. And so let's migrate the district tech staff over. Let's learn from our experiences there. We can create a training plan if one needed to be created based upon our experiences and pitfalls, and then give it out to another 10, 20, 30 people. So we initially started with about 10, and then we upped it to 15 or 20 people, and then a few more groups before we started handling the masses by doing an entire school one at a time. Beginning, we did small, learned from that, corrected the mistakes, and then we were able to take those big chunks and move and migrate the rest of them over to the cloud. We end up moving all the middle schools together and all the elementary schools together.
Were there any surprises along the way?
For me, one of the surprises I had was how easy and simple it was for the tech staff. And then we moved to the next group, and they had some issues with regards to setting, I think, on the mobile phone setting, where they weren't getting their emails on the phone. And so, and then the period of time that migration was happening, I was alerted by how often people are into emails and how often they get into their email, because I would, we'd start migrating them on a Friday afternoon or something, and I'd get a phone call or a text, hey, I don't have email anymore. Yeah, your email's being migrated, per the email we sent out to you, that is happening, and there will be a short period of time that you will not have access to email. But other than that, I think just that ability to, let users know what's happening, why it's happening, and then realize that, yeah, sorry, you aren't going to have email for a period of time here.
Were there any security concerns to overcome?
I think part of my concern moving to the cloud was the security, data privacy. How secure was it? How private was it? As we all know, in school districts, emails is a form of public record, and so making sure that data is held private. Clearly, this is an area that is a concern of mine, has been a concern of mine, but I think I'm fairly comfortable with it now. It is secure as long as our administration and passwords and security measures are in place. It is a secure location to keep your emails.
Could you tell us a little bit about training?
Part of our planning process was what it will look like for that end user. Our end users use primarily the Outlook client on their Windows 10 device, or we have some that go into the web version of Outlook. And so that being housed locally versus being housed in the cloud, that was the beauty, and that made the decision to move our email to the cloud much easier because the experience was the same. From the end user standpoint, we did no training, didn't need to do any training, because from the end user, once their email was migrated, it was carry on. They didn't know maybe the technical aspects of what was happening in the background on them having their email in their Outlook client, but the fact that it was just all there and nothing changed and nothing was missing was huge as far as moving our emails to the cloud.
What did you and the team learn along the way, Don?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing I learned with this process was over communicate. Email the groups, a day before that their migration is taking place, so they're aware of, I'm not going to have emails for this period of time.
What would you say have been the biggest benefits so far?
From my standpoint, it's really the integration of mobile devices, including Microsoft Teams, being able to do things on my mobile device, my iPhone, that I was not able to do before moving to Exchange. For example, Microsoft has a task list product, and I can now integrate that with my Exchange. And also we replaced our phone system as well. And there's some integration with our new phone system, with the online version of Exchange. So having and moving our emails to the cloud has opened up more functionality with regards to Teams and our phone system that we just simply would not have had before. And it was a key factor in moving and making the decision to move things to the cloud.
Have you got any feedback from faculty and staff at all?
We have not. It's one of those things, no news is good news. And since their user experience didn't change, they're using Outlook before, they're using Outlook after. It's just only where those emails and other data is being housed at. It's just things are the same. And that's a good thing in schools, especially in 2020 with everything else going on this year.
What have you noticed about the proliferation of spam?
Yeah, we have had some positives that there's less spam, and the spam that Microsoft thinks is spam is ending up in their junk folder. So they have a little bit more control over accessing some of the emails that may appear to be spam, but they are not. And so they are able to go to their junk email, yank them out of the junk email, put them back in their inbox, and deal with those emails accordingly. In the old way we did things, it was a separate solution for spam email, and we did not provide any access to, we designate this is spam, you can't access it, even though there may have been some emails that weren't spam that they really needed to get. And so that's been a benefit, that they feel like there's less spam coming in, and that in some cases they have a little more control over viewing some of the spam that is hitting their junk email. So that's been a benefit, and we have had some positive remarks regarding the spam.
What do you think's next for you and the team, Don?
I think in the be able to expand our use of Microsoft Teams. We're just now starting to get into it, using that product and its capabilities now that that email is like I said in the cloud, and to take advantage of those functions within Teams. So that's a big initiative with regards to our Microsoft products, and hopefully carry that on to other users.
Have you got any advice for others headed down this path?
Go ahead and do it.
Go and do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yes.
Talking from an IT perspective, just do it. Yeah, it's there's concerns, but as long as you plan it right, as long as you come up with a timeline, as long as you over communicate the process and those affected by the process, the functionality, the features far outweigh any concerns, and so it's been a good benefit to move that email and Exchange server to the cloud.
Could you have done this on your own?
We could have done it on our own, but it would have taken, 5 times longer. We would have to research solutions. It's not something we have ever done before, and we wanted an expert to come in and do it for us. Yeah, there's going to be some costs involved with that, but your savings up front, and we're all busy in a school environment. You don't have time to do these projects and then spend 5 times as longer as if you just hired someone to come in and do it. And so from that aspect, highly recommend hiring, in this case, Enabling Technologies.